the second dish we're going to make for make and take gifts is what we're calling Amish Friendship Soup. Now, I've got one here that's already made, and you can see what it is. It's shelf stable. Everything that's in here, we're going to show you how to make it. Of course, then we put a little ribbon on it, a little bit of Christmas fabric, and this is great to give away. So we're going to figure out how to make this today. Of course, you got to make it in layers. I'll show you. So today we're using a clear canning jar. This is a wide mouth jar. And in order to fill it, we're going to use a canning funnel. Very interesting fact. So I brought this one in particular. This was Ricky's mother and grandmother, and all of his family lived out in the country on the edge of Tippah County. And this was his mother's. And I was telling somebody, I'm not sure if it was started with his mom or whether it was somebody else's before her. There's no telling how many jars were filled with this particular canning funnel. Anyways, it's all kind of cramped up and everything, but we're going to use it today, and we're going to thank Vera for that. That was her name, Vera. Okay, so we're going to layer in this manner. The first thing we're going to put in here, if I can find, here's my list right here, are dry split peas. Now these are green, guys. Of course, we want it to be colorful. You can find these in the store. The green dry split peas. All right. Since this is going to be a beef soup, we're going to put beef bouillon granules on top of that. And you can follow the recipe. I think it's 1/3 of a cup on top of that. All right, let's kind of smooth it out there. All right, so we can see our layers. All right, the next thing is pearl barley in here. So I wanted to show you all the package and what these look like. I need 1/4 of a cup of this. These are little granules, look kind of like grains that you would mill. So we're going to get 1/4 a cup of this, and that will be the next thing. So we've got green, and then we have the brown, and now we're coming in with the whitish pearl barley. Now this is not the instant barley, all right? This is real barley that has to cook a while because the whole dish is going to cook a while. All right, the pearl barley's next. Then we're going with the lentils. All right, now guys, these are what they call them red lentils, but they're actually pink. And it makes the jar so cute. Look at there. All right, there's the pearl barley. The next thing we're going to get, that's the red lentils. Then we're going to go in with dried minced onion. That takes 1/4 of a cup of this. So everything is shelf stable, so that's dry. All right, so we're coming in with that. The next thing we come in with is Italian seasoning, so it's 2 teaspoons of Italian seasoning. Then we're going to come in with long grain rice. This is regular long grain rice. All right, then the last thing that goes in the jar is macaronis. Now in the recipe that I had seen, the macaroni were just poured right on top, and then it said to keep the macaroni out and then cook everything else. Well, it's hard to get macaroni out of a jar that's got everything else in it. So what we're going to do is put it in a sandwich bag, and we're going to put it in here like this. All right, that's going to fill up our jar, go in with the lid. Then I'm going to come in later. Uh-oh, I spilled some of that stuff. Then I'm going to come in later, and I'm going to decorate it, and I'm going to gift it. But for today, I'm going to cook it for you guys. So this is how you would cook it, and you would put these you put this on the outside. In a little tag, how to make this. Let me clean off my station. Move, pearl barley. I couldn't find you. Now you won't leave. Anyway, all right. I've got in this pot a pound of ground beef. All right, I've already browned it and drained it. So it's here. To that, I'm going to add a 28-ounce can or a quart of tomatoes. So right here for today, we have 2 smaller cans that equal 28 ounces. I'm going to open up what I just made, take out my macaroni. I'm not putting that in till later. I'm going to dump the entire contents of this quart into these dried ingredients into my pot. Okay, so there you go. To that, I'm going to add 3 quarts of water. We've already measured this out. Ooh, are we going to make it? Is the pot going to be big enough? Guys, this is a 6-quart Dutch oven. Barely made it. All right. So we have the entire contents of this that I just made, with the exception of the macaroni. All right, we're going to cook this. We're going to bring this to a boil, and we're going to cook it for an hour and a half. For the last 15 minutes, we're going to add the macaroni, and then we'll taste it for the seasonings and see how we like it. And if we need to, we'll add more of something. The beef bouillon has a good bit of salt in it, so when I have made it, I haven't had to add any salt at all. So we're going to put the lid on it, and then we're going to let it come to a boil, and then we're going to boil for an hour and a half. And when that time is over with, we'll get back with you. All right, we're back to our soup. It's been going for 75 minutes, an hour, and 15 minutes, and I can see that the lentils and the dry peas and things and the barley just about done. I'm going to add my small macaronis, a cup of that, and we're going to go another 15 minutes, and we'll be ready to serve.